I am Dennis Benz, go by King of Cups. Uh, I'm up in Tacoma, Washington right now. Been on this Q train since this 2017, doing a lot of research, and people usually want to know what I do when I do research, or what I come up with and the questions I come up with. I would say probably 80% of them are downloads. What I come up with and the questions I come up with. I hear an echo. I
Echo.
would say probably 80% of them are downloads.
I'm gonna mute.
And another portion is either if I'm not reading books, I've got this chart over here. It's the awakening chart that I go by that kind of points me in certain directions to look at. And I believe in humor.
Awesome.
Anything to lighten up the load.
And speaking of lighting, I was going to tell you, your lights are flickering.
Yeah, they do that. I don't know.
You're pulling
why.
energy. That's why, because you're pulling energy. That's exactly what's going on right now.
That could be. Okay. I'll just wait for them to burn out then.
Major echo here. Major echo.
Major echo. Okay. So I'll mute in between.
Okay. Should I mute too?
Major echo.
Yeah, please mute.
Okay,
I'm sorry. So I'll mute in between.
Okay. Should I mute too?
All right, everybody. Sorry about the mutes. So I just want to say welcome, everyone. This is Soldier of Light reporting for duty. As you kind of started the broadcast, that was the King of Cups, Dennis. He was just kind of informing us a little bit about some of his stuff in his background and some of these things. So you may have jumped in right about that time. And I also have Mr. J. Rocco here that a lot of you know who these people are. Now you can really put some faces with some names if some of you don't know who they are. And I'm also the Soldier of Light, Jason Ramirez. And I just felt compelled today to jump on and do a live. And we have some big news today. And this is a major, major marker. And I put a tarot video out earlier today before I even knew what happened with the Queen. And I knew something was coming down the horn. And it was amazing to get that validation literally quicker than I thought it would be. Within 2 days, I thought it was going to happen, and it happened quicker than that. So that was amazing. So with that huge news, honestly, I felt almost pushed, as I was mentioning before we went live. I felt pushed almost to do this, to jump on, because I know there's a lot of people who want to discuss these things, who've been considered crazy people in the past, or and this is a huge marker for all of us. And I feel like this is like right now as I speak, my head is tingling on the top. So that tells me that spirit is telling me for sure that this is a major validation point for us who've been kind of waiting for this. And so I just wanted to go around a few things as we kind of go. I don't have a plan, anything like that. This is just something I felt compelled to do. I know people wanted to hear it. And I just was going to go around, just kind of springboard this conversation and kind of see where it goes. Maybe we can even pull some cards going along, whatever it may be. We'll just kind of play it by ear. But first thing I just want to say is praise the big man upstairs for sure, because this is just like Real World Witness Christy just said. This is not a conspiracy anymore. This is legitimate, something that was happening, and we've been planning it, or this has been planned and been going on for some time. And we've all ridden that roller coaster. And I know for myself specifically, like I even mentioned that in my video today, the ups and downs we've been riding have been so high and so low. It's for a reason. It's to prepare us for the roller coaster ride we're about to all go on. We've already experienced this. We know what it's been like when we've felt really positive, and we know what it's felt like to be at the bottom when despair and doubt about whatever's going on in this world. Because I know, even for myself, I've had doubts in the past, and that's the honest truth. Until I started becoming more spiritual and working on myself more spiritually, then the guide started opening me up to these things, and these messages that I receive is been prophetic for me, and this is a validation for me, and I know it is for a lot of you, and so I just wanted to come on and discuss a little bit of that. The London Bridge has fallen, and I feel and I'll let the other, and I'll just kind of springboard it to the other guests. This is a major turning point for us, and this is where I feel like this is where we're the fool in this part now. This is where the journey starts, I feel. And I feel like we're the fool card when it comes to the tarot. If you want to tie it in, all the things that we've been doing to try to manifest this as the magician, even though the magician comes after the fool, but with this one, I feel like we've been trying to manifest this future, manifest these things into reality. And we're starting to learn the power that we have, not only as individuals, but as a collective, which is as we raise the collective vibration, these things will start to come into fruition. And we're prepared for this. We've been battle tested. That's what it is with us, star seeds. And even if you're not a star seed, just anyone who's into truth and wants to know these things, you've been battle tested. And I can speak from experience, and I know, when not just spiritually, but I've also been in this dimension's battles, physically, so overseas. So I know what it means to be battle tested, and I've been a soldier for pretty much my whole existence. In many lifetimes, I know this as well. And we're all soldiers. We're all here for a reason. We're all here to raise the vibration, help the others around us, because this is going to be, there are going to be some disruptions. I pulled that on my tower card today. Was part of it in the immediate future. I didn't know it was going to be this quick. I'm very thankful for that, but it was a tower moment, which means there's going to be some disruption. And then there was also the Two of Swords on my reading earlier. That means there's been a stalemate, or how they're going to present this information and communicate that is what the difficult is. They're trying to figure this situation out. And now that things have kind of been let out of the bag, because there's been leaks. People are saying the queen was dead, and then they pulled the information down. All of a sudden, when the American news media was like, jumping on that, and even the dark owned newspapers, the Washington Post, all these people that were throwing these things out, all of a sudden it's like, wow, there's some validity. So I think that they were pushed finally to say, you know what, it's time to release this information, even though we know this has happened in the past for us who've kind of been in this journey. But it was amazing to hear. So I just want to push it off. I actually, since we haven't heard from Jay, I'm going to go to Jay first, and then I'll connect to you, Joe. I just want to or Dennis, I'm sorry. And then Joe, I just want to see what your thoughts are on the situation. Okay. And I'll mute myself as well. So that there's no, let's see. Okay. And I'll mute myself as well. So that there's no,
Okay, looks like I'm good to go. Yeah, I still am getting one hell of an echo through here when you guys are on. Looks like I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm feeding back on myself, but I'm just going to keep going. But anyway, yeah, this definitely, this is a major arcana, a major temporal marker. Definitely there is some things going on that I think everyone here has felt it, everyone here listening. We know this is a starting or turning point. With that being said, I got to take this off, sorry. With that being said, we are definitely in this time. One of the things that I think we need to know, and we'll go and get into a few things in a little bit, but one of the things I think we really need to do right now is kind of have compassion for the people that will be waking up because of all of this. I think we're going to see a very vast opening on information, as you alluded to, Jason. And I think we're here to obviously help. We can't say I told you so. We really have to, do this as we're being directed to do. I know for a fact, you two have helped me with a number of things. Dennis also I've relied on. I appreciate all both of your help, and a few other people in the audience that have also been part of my awakening, and I just want to thank everyone for that. But with that, I'll stop and I'll put my headphones back on.
I just want to say that the Queen London Bridge is down now, and that's the first marker. It starts the domino effect, apparently. The next thing that you will probably see, what is coming up, is the 11th of September, 9/11. And I suspect something big is going to come from that as well. Up to you, Jay.
All right. So I totally agree. And I've been saying even for months before this, even all this happened, I've been saying for months, literally on the other, like when Kristen's channel and Jason's channel, when they're doing their lives and things, I just always chimed in. I've felt, and I felt 9/11 was going to be a huge turning point for us. And I felt it for the better. And I felt that for months and months now. And this is before even when it comes to the Queen going down and all this stuff. And as you know, Dennis mentioned, this is a springboard. This is something that is literally like a huge marker for us. It just as anybody who's been in this game for some time and been called the wacko, and the person who just doesn't make sense, and it's not what the news says. That's the purpose. That's the point. And to finally get some, like you said, like Joe said, get some validation, but not to the point where you're like, I told you so. Because, and I agree with that. You know, it's good to have that validation in your heart. But I also, by telling someone, I told you so, you're demeaning them. And by demeaning someone, or you're bringing your level down by just almost insulting. And I'm not telling you how to be. I mean, hey, that's all on you. But if we're in this high vibration where we need to stay, just an internal, yeah, exactly. That's all. That's all you should need to be sufficient, instead of pushing this out into somebody else's energy, and the energy in return is going to lower yours. And so that's the only thing I can honestly say to people is, you know, continue to just come from a place of love. This is a turning point for us. This is something that we've all been praying, and whatever it is that's been going on is, it's a validating point for us. And honestly, 9/11, and I know that Dennis has said that in quite a few of the live chats, that 9/11 we feel is going to be a big one. And I have to honestly, I feel, I don't know, I'm hearing Jubilee in my head. Jubilee. And I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm hearing that. It's Jubilee. Like this is, even though it may be dark for some people, we know who it's dark for, what's going on. But for us, I hear Jubilee. And I'm going to be honest, I felt revived today. Soon as I heard this news, my energy went through the roof. Like I was like happy, jumping around almost. Like my energy, like even now, I'm amped. Like I don't know if you can feel my energy. I'm amped, and when I push energy out like that, I know that the spirit right now, I'm tingly. So my everything is just flowing through me, and I know that that's an amazing feeling. And I hope that some of you will have that. Hope you've had that feeling as well today. And that's kind of what I know. 9/11 is a big one. It's coming. Plus, the full moon is on September 10th. You know, which is my brother's birthday, which is separate, but I just figured it's pretty awesome that we're going to have the full moon, and then, you know, that's the ending of something, and then we start into a new phase. And September 11th is the perfect time after a full moon. Let's start a new cycle for the better. So I don't know if you want to speak on that, Dennis, and we'll kind of go from there. All right. Let me mute myself.
There we go. I don't know too much about the moon cycles. I haven't really gotten into astrology all that much. I've been pretty busy with the intel portion of it, but 9/11 should be big. And I know it was mentioned on the Queen's death that there was going to be 10 days before the actual viewing of the body, I guess. And that kind of brings to mind 10 Days of Darkness, maybe. Could that be possibly the EBS coming online, and we start seeing some of the things that we ought to be seeing that have been hidden for a while? I don't know.
Oh, am I on? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to see what you're doing.
I got to be honest, I'm exactly the same as you guys felt today. I was loaded with energy. I put the TV on in the morning, mainly for my wife, but I usually check the business channel. That's my sports. I watch the ticker tape go across. I don't even have the volume on ever. the volume was on, and I get the Queen is in dire straits, basically. Yeah, I don't generally have that on. So that was kind of a premonition of the day for me. Why today? Why now? And I think a lot of us has kind of felt different things with this. I mean, we each get our individual information, our downloads that we get. One of the things I got is this is her date of passing. And I do believe that this is going to be the start of the fall of the currencies slowly, because I think they've lost their protection. I think the Queen contractually had different things with certain banks that start with Roth and end in kids, if you can figure that out. And that's a good 80% of the currencies around the world. That to me is huge. And with that being said, there's no coincidence that the Vatican was calling their assets back to their bank. There's a small article that I came across prior to World War II, about a year before World War II. The Vatican did something similar prior to the start of World War II. Coincidence? Most of us realize there are no coincidences. And another thing that I got, as far as, with, like you were saying, Jason, a lot of us are going to want to say, I told you so. We really got to keep our heart, like you said. We're here to help. You're going to want to say that. It's okay to think it. Don't let it verbalize. Just keep your vibrations high. This is what we're here to do. We are here to help. I'd be interested in hearing Dennis's perspective on what he thinks is happening forward. In other words, not just today. What's your gut feeling? What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, I know it's going to go in drips. It's not going to go all at one time, because if you avalanche everything, people are going to get turned off. So they're going to drip it. Financial markets will probably be going down after the 9/11, whatever they got planned for that. I don't know. My guess is 9/11, they're going to start showing what really happened. So I don't know if the EBS is going to happen Saturday and they start showing on Sunday. It's just not, that's an idea. But if it would be a great time for people to actually see what happened on 9/11 and what transpired then at that time. And then going forward from that, like the finances going down, and now I have to think about the rest of it a little bit later.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is going to drip. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. And I believe that this is going to be the start and the slow domino. And agree with that 100%. People would be turned off. People will see it and they'll go, oh, that can't happen here. That can't happen here. It's coming to a theater near you. We really have to be on our best spiritually. This is going to be a very traumatic thing. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think it is. It all in what your perception is. However, bad is bad. Jason, I'd like to get your perspective on that, if you don't mind throwing that out there. What do you see coming from that 9/11? If I could add one other thing, you mentioned the harvest moon, Dennis. I got a download the other day about my divining rods. I have no idea what the harvest moon was. I didn't know any of those things. And I was told to put those in the moonlight and the sunlight the day before, the day of, and the day after. And then after them, I will be able to use them. I had to look these things up. I'm like, harvest moon, I didn't know what that was, but it makes complete sense once you see what's happening, what's transpiring. And that was just yesterday, or excuse me, 2 days ago. I apologize, 2 days ago. But anyway, Jason, please.
It's in your court now, Jason. It's in your court now, Jason.
Can't hear you, Jason. Can't hear you, Jason.
Still there?
Can't hear you, Jason. There's Jason. All right, well, let me fill some of the void of silence, if you will. Maybe you and Dennis. Dennis, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Till we get Jason back. I think this Jason mentioned about all this energy. I got to agree. I had a ton of energy today. It was very uplifting, if that makes sense. Not just energy. It was like just feel good, almost like I don't want to say euphoric, but there was a lot of energy in this messed up body. That's all I can say. Did you feel that also, Dennis, by chance?
I'm getting that right now, as a matter of fact.
Awesome.
I didn't hear about her death until, like, I don't know, probably about an hour ago when I was starting to do some research. But it was like an everyday thing for me here until we started talking.
Right. What do you think about Charles as the king? Until Jason gets in, I'll throw some questions.
Personally, I don't think he's going to last that much longer. I think it's going to go straight to William. He's what, 76 now? And he doesn't look like he's in good shape either. And I have heard that, I don't forget where I was reading this, but it's expected that Prince William will be the king and he will be the Antichrist coming in for the final 3.5 years of the tribulation.
I've heard something similar on that. Intuitively, I have to agree with you. I really do. I have to say that just resonates that. And as far as history goes, Charles is a blip on the map. It's William. That resonates fully. What goes on from there, I can't see or feel past it. But what I do know is it's not pretty. The vibration kind of stops, and it's an abrupt stop. I don't know why I can't get an impression moving forward. I mean, even just a guess. My body's going red light. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supposed to see that. I'm not supposed
I
to
don't
look
think
at it for
anybody's
whatever reason.
supposed to see it. Yeah. I don't think anybody's supposed to see it. I think the last 3.5 years is when Yeshua comes back with the army. So we're not gonna know what's going on, but we're supposed to apparently have 144,000 of the tribes of Israel come back for a special mission. Well, I think they're already here, and I think there's probably star seeds is what they are. And who they are, we don't know for sure. I could assume that I'm probably part of it. That's what I'm being told. So, but what mission that's going to be, we won't know until later.
I agree.
What mission that's going to be?
No one will know the hour, the day. No one will know the minute. I agree with that, and it's supposed to come through the prophets. The hard part that we have distinguishing is who actually are these prophets. I could possibly point to a couple, and I don't believe one prophet will have the answer. I think it'll be a combination of. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but perhaps someone will ring it out, but we will not know the day or the hour regardless. But
True.
as far as certain prophecies, I think it's going to be a cumulative. Hey, I just see Jason.
Yes. But can we hear Jason?
I can see you,
Oh,
Jason.
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
hear you. 5x5.
Yes.
Thank you, dude. My computer just stopped working. It just stopped.
You're expanding too much energy. It just wiped your computer out.
It tripped me out, and I have it plugged in. This is a direct connection to the internet. It's not a Wi-Fi, and I have 1,000 megabytes of download a second, so it's not like this is slow. All of a sudden, it starts spinning, and then my computer froze, and then even to reboot it, I had to reboot my computer. My microphone stopped, my computer camera stopped. I was like, "What the heck, man?" And I'm like, "Someone's messing with me right now." That's a true story, that someone is messing with us right now. And I know that without a doubt. But right before I was going to drop this little tidbit, when you guys asked me about the 9/11 thing, and Sunday being when Dennis mentioned this, that asked me about the 9/11 and possibly having the EBS, I get 100% yes. I got the Queen of Wands, so this is something it's happened and truthful. It's passionate. I'm also the Queen of Swords, so the truth is going to come out. Page of Cups, so that's a message coming to us. It's a message they're going to deliver to us, and the result is the Sun card in a 5-card spread. So I mean, 4 cards that I did, so I didn't have to pull anymore after the Sun card. So that tells me leading up to between the Queen of Wands, very passionate of what you're going to find out, and the Queen of Swords, the truth is coming out. The Page of Cups is a messenger. A message is going to be delivered to us, and the Sun card. So I feel like that's exactly what's going to go on when it comes to what we're seeing here, and I feel like that's right before I was going to deliver that message is when that got wacky. So yeah, I'm gonna do some saging and stuff. So but when it comes down to it, honestly, I mean, I pulled some gematria for earlier for some of you guys who may not be into that, or maybe you are, and I know some of you are, and it's something that's new for some of you. So I'm gonna pull some gematria just for some things I was compelled to pull today. And what I put was London Bridge has fallen in gematria. Okay. And what comes up that sticks to me is that it says God might be a human. I don't know if that's the truth, but Satan's son. This is about the London Bridge has fallen. Luciferism. I can't even say it. Luciferism, whatever they do Lucifer stuff if they want to. Also, a false promise comes up. Round table. Let's see here. Antichrist code that comes up. Cracking Earth open. Let's see. It's exacerbates. Let's see here. The age of darkness. To purge. Not going to happen. Let's see here. Encounter the Lord. Image of false realities. Lord God's killing it. Let's see here. That's some of them that I picked up on that one. Then I put in London Bridge has fallen September 8th, 2022. And some of the things that I'm getting, The man who changed the world through the revelation of the word. Wrath of God happening in China, wrath of God happening in Russia. It says here, anyone who exalts themselves over me, I will humble. Let's see here. I'm just reading through some of these. Always, always, law ways. So it means always the law is coming. So the satanic elite will be hunted down wherever they go. That's literally one of them that popped up. And, another one that could be convinced they're winning as their eternal destruction is closer than ever before. So that comes back to us talking about this is a marker. This was something that really is kicking off. I mean, it's crazy. And it like, even I pulled some more in here. I mean, it's I could read so many more of these off that it's demented satanic woman convinced they are safe because they are not. Things like that. Those are things that come up just for a few things of pulling them up. The Gematria alone tells me, like, when I just put these things in, you can read, there's so many different ones to read, but especially when you put in phrases like that, like London Bridge fallen, September 9th, 2022, that's all spelled out. And then it kind of gives you your phrases. And that's some of the things that, when it comes to this, I read some of these things, that's more validation for me. And I know people say that's just mumbo jumbo. Like, that's what my wife used to say too. But after a while, the coincidences are too many. And I believe that God speaks to us through letters and words or numbers. So that way we can validate these things in this form, is what I feel, because we're intellectual beings in this plane. We're not as spiritual as we need to be. And it's to tie in the spiritual side with the intellectual side as we learn. And this is something that's been kept from us for a while. And like, I didn't know anything about this till about maybe 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago with the Gematria. And I was like, oh, and Tom Numbers came on the scene. And when Tom Numbers came on, I was just like, that's interesting. And then he started I feel like he was a springboard for me personally when it comes to the simple stuff and where to go and the Gematria. And there's other people who are besides Tom, but I feel like Tom has that's his calling. I feel like that's his calling. Not only his calling of how he interprets these things, it's how he presents them to people. That's a gift in itself, to present this information. And another thing that was interesting with the numbers too is when you add up 9 plus 8 is 17. 9, 8. So, and it's amazing. It's like, and then an 8, when you look at 8, that's just like the infinity sign. So what we're doing is that loop we just came through, we're coming right back and we're ready to start anew. And that's where we're at. We've already been through, and I feel like we're right about there to start moving upward again into the light. So, but that's kind of what I was amazing. And you're over target. I've never had any issues with my computer. It's a new computer. It doesn't have a bunch of memory on it. A couple videos, but they're small, and my internet is fast. It's reliable. And I'm plugged in hard. And all of a sudden, in the middle, right before I was going to present this information with all the stuff we've been dropping, I have problems. So that tells me that we're over target and people don't like what they're hearing. So enjoy yourselves. We're going to speak what we want, and this is how it's going to be. So I would like to know kind of what you think, Jay, as far as like anything to add into the Gematria or anything that you feel moving forward. I don't know what was talked about when I was playing Computer Guru, trying to fix it. So I'd like to know what you say, what you think.
One of the things I felt interesting was one of my friends reminded me while we're on here that we are in Mercury retrograde also. I'm not the astrology guy. I get information, but I think that's quite significant also. I think that speaks worlds, especially with the numerology, the Gematria that you're talking about. It's hard When is a coincidence no longer a coincidence? I'm sorry. There's too many of them, and they're getting more and more frequent. So I gotta agree. This is a time of celebration. You know that I deal mainly with frequencies, what I feel, how I see it, and it is exhilarating. It is there's a calmness over it, that there's a ripple in the end. I think I had mentioned to Jason about when you drop a stone in a pond, you get a big ripple and then it ripples out. At the end of that ripple, when the ripples are no longer that you can see them, but the water underneath is still moving, there's still fluid, there's still motion, there's a calmness, and that's almost a precipice of the vibrations going out, but there's a harmony of that when it goes below the surface. There's a harmony. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Even though there's a little bit of OMG here right now, I think we're going to have it, but I really do feel that a lot of us are going to be calm. We're going to be walking people through these things. And don't be surprised if the information doesn't just start flowing of the shock and awe type information that we've all been waiting for. I think it's part of it. Go ahead to Dennis.
If you can snatch the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave. I'm thinking that a majority of the stuff that's going to be coming out will be coming out this year, but this is going to take a long time of revealing, because this has been going on for not years, not decades, but centuries. So history as we know it is all going to change. And if we want to know what the truth is, then we're going to have to dig in ourselves and find it. But I'd be buckling up right about now, because it's going to get fast. Well, in drips, but it's going to get fast for the next 3 months. And I've heard the next 2 months are going to be really tough.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a good segue. Honestly, it's we have all these midterms and all these things, and I feel like this is the perfect time in order for this stuff to really start to kick off, because midterm stuff is a distraction, and that's a true story. It's nothing else but that. The fact that people think that they really have a choice and have for a long time is, I'm sorry, I have a oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you if you want. But we have that illusion of having the choice, and they're from the same parties. They high five and shake each other's hands right after they're like, after the camera goes off, and I want the best for you, and everything I do is for you and the people that vote for me, and that's the furthest from the truth. And they're there. The only reason why people get into politics is for their own personal gain. Period. I mean, that's the unfortunate part, and they know the reason why. Even if you come in with good intentions, I'm pretty sure if you come in with good intentions, either you're not going to make it in if you did slip through the cracks. Number two, you've already been pre-selected probably anyway. Number three, if you had good intentions, I guarantee they'll stamp that out the moment you walk in. They'll crush every little thing that you thought you could do for anybody. I know you have your own personal things, but they'll crush that out because it's against their agenda. And that's what people don't realize. So even with this the Trump rallies and all this is all distraction stuff. And I know that people don't want to hear that, because, dude, I'm a pro Trump guy. I mean, as a veteran of this country, he's done more for me as a veteran and my family in the last few years than any other person that's been in the office has ever done for any veteran. And with the dreams that I've had of President Trump, when I've asked my guides as I've opened up spiritually, he's been my commander in chief in these dreams. He's hugged me in one of my dreams in a grand hall, like almost like a very heavenly looking hall, but there was people in it and they were in suits for some reason. But when I hugged him, I started crying in my, I know that I've mentioned this before, but it was so powerful. I started crying, like the love that he was sending me when we were hugging and embracing. I felt like I've never felt that love in my whole life. And I have children and my wife, and I'm very in love with my wife, but I've never felt that. It felt like a different type of love. So I feel like maybe God was coming through and he presented to me that way. So I understood, because that's what I asked for specifically. And when it came down to it, I mean, honestly, if I didn't have these prophetic dreams that I've had when I've asked for them and it came right away for these dreams, I would have been deflated a long time ago in order to keep my vibration. So I feel like some of us have gotten little bits and pieces from the spirit world to kind of help us, give us renewed strength when the things have been really, really, really bad. And it's been hard for all of us to try to keep the vibration up. And as you mentioned, Dennis, they're going to trickle things out. They've been doing it, and it's up to us to figure it out and expose what's been going on as well. And I feel at this point, there's too many of us that know what the plan is. And once that plan has been divulged and they've kept that thing under wraps as close as they could to the chest, guaranteed. And we don't know all of it, but we have a good understanding of the basis of what they're about, what they do, how they make their money, how they launder it, with all these non-government agencies and organizations, and so they can funnel this money. And that's what they do with our tax money. We should be driving on streets of gold, is what I feel, in our country alone. And no one should be hungry. No one should be homeless. There shouldn't be children dying in this world when we're spending billions and billions of dollars for what? And I feel, as a soldier, I can only speak to this. The things I know now that I wish I would have known then, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I mean, we wouldn't even been there. But it's the fact of what they use the military for. We're the Gestapo, we're the Shylocks for the NWO people, and we've been going through to help them with their agendas. And it's unfortunate. Every war that we've been fought it's for land and power. It's nothing. And it's for redistribution of wealth, for some of you who may not know that. And that's the easiest way to launder money, is through wars. People get richer. They lock things down. Construction is another one that's a good one to launder money through easily. That's why you see all these cones and like Richard Citizen journalists and all these people who are out there going across country. They're seeing all these. I used to notice, I'm like, why are there all this construction? And I like in Illinois here. I mean, this has been construction going on for the last 7 years in the same areas. And I'm just dumbfounded by these things, and every politician, I'm going to correct what this person behind me did. Never, that's furthest from the truth. So it's refreshing to know that things are being done. And I knew things were going to kick off. If anyone watched the last Trump rally, and I'm not going to lie, even I haven't been motivated to watch the Trump rallies as much as I used to be. I used to be gung-ho. I will not miss this thing. And because I feel like it was just a repetitive conversation. And we knew this. And he was speaking to us, but he was also speaking to people who may be just coming into this conversation as a newbie. So when it come down to it, honestly, this last one I felt the difference. I heard the difference. And the fact that what Spirit showed me when he was talking toward the end, and that song was crescendoing as he was trying to say how bad things were in the universe and around the country and around the world, and things were going to get better. I saw Independence Day, the movie, the original one, where the actor was playing the president, was speaking to the people. And it was almost that same dramatic bringing them down, and then we're going to start ramping them up. And I feel like, and then the thunder and all these things that just came. I mean, he was telling us without telling us, the storm is here. Be prepared for the people who've been paying attention, because you're going to be needed now more than ever. So, and I see you rocking back and forth, Jace. That tells me you're probably getting some downloads. So I want to go to you first, because you're giving me tingles right now. Probably getting some downloads. So I want to go to you first, because you're giving me tingles right now.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna let this flow a little bit. Okay. White hats, dark hats. Secrets. They all have secrets. Are the white hats fighting for you? Secrets. It's secrets. We have to stand. We have to stand. Standing. It's time. Dollar signs. I don't know what that means. What do you mean with dollar signs? I don't understand that. Give me something else. Rage. Quick war. Over. Fast. Stand. That's all that's all I'm. They just keep repeating it. There's blackouts. They're man-made. It's bullshit. It's not. When the conflict comes, yes, but the blackouts are it's lies. I'm sorry, I get things in threes. That's why I'm repeating myself. There's going to be a video, some kind of video that's going to it's going to wake up a good part of the world. I don't know. It's gone. But the secrets, the white hats have secrets too. Are they doing this for them? Are they really doing it for us? Or are they just doing it to take control, to take power themselves? They say it's for us. It's for us. Is it? Is it really? What are the two parties that we've seen so far? There's not two parties. There's one team. The secrets upon secrets upon secrets. Once this video something gets leaked, it seems insignificant at first, and then it blows up. It's shown an explosion. It not explosion like a bomb, like it spreads out. What do you call that? Viral. It just keeps going. It picks up. It starts slow, but it picks up steam. And this video it keeps telling me the secrets. And that's all I got. There's a lot. It's jumbled. I can't make sense of it. That's okay.
No worries. I just wanted to see what you got, and I know that kind of put you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I know you get these downloads.
It was coming when we were talking.
That's what I want. I knew that, and I wanted to get it while you were getting it, and it's okay as you just start to let it come out.
Can I walk away for a minute? Is it okay if I walk away for a minute?
Absolutely. All right.
I didn't know he got downloads like that, because I usually just get them, and I thought he was rocking to the music.
No, he gets these downloads throughout the day, and he'll get like these messages or these images, and he gets them like a lot in threes, and it's kind of like he tries to make sense of it. That's why you see him, he was just writing and rocking. So, and actually, believe it or not, when somebody starts to kind of rock uncontrolled, like not purposely, they're really tuning in at that point, because then you're not focusing on what you're doing. It's just happening. So he was flowing, and I saw that, and I could feel it with my arms and getting tingly. I knew he was channeling. That's why I mentioned something to him about it. So, but yeah, it's something that, so when you get your downloads, Dennis, like how does it happen for you, if you don't mind me asking?
It just happens. It's more like thought waves, You think stuff that you've never thought of before. They just it's instant. But I don't trance out. I don't know why, but for some people, like for Joe there, they trance. But for some of the others of us, it's just like thought patterns that instantly develop within you. You know, you may be thinking about one thing, and then all of a sudden, snap, there's something else right there, you know.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I was just sending energy to Jay. So I was, because I knew you were I knew you got a lot, and I could feel your energy. It was a lot for you, so that's why I wanted to send that. Hopefully, it helps you with your energy there. Okay, so yeah, I agree. I mean, are you doing okay, Jay? With your energy?
Yeah. It's just
So
the energy's there. Thank you for sending that.
are you doing okay, Jay?
Yeah, and that's what happens to me. At least you didn't see me with the hands going like I'm a squid. So that's what happens sometimes too. You know, like, oh, yeah. But yeah, it was coming, and I'm like, please don't do this now. But yeah, it was just strong, and it was the one download I told you about, Jason. I was getting liar, charlatan, this whole, it was that kind of strength. The secrets. These secrets are what breaks it. It breaks. And I'm going to sign up to be a custodian for these secrets once all this stuff comes out. Please sign me up. Whoever's in charge of this bullshit, I'd like to help filter out that information as much as I can, because it's phenomenal. Excuse my French, sorry. I'm good.
You don't have to apologize, my friend. Believe me, I know how it is. I know this. It's overwhelming, and I know that even having a hard time communicating that to people, or even just communicating even to yourself, like making sense of it. I see right now that you're in a trance almost. It's almost like a trance, because your guides are really strong, and I know that. And I felt it before you even started rocking. I knew you were getting a download by how you were looking up, and I knew that something was talking to you. So, and it's different. Like even Dennis was saying, like he doesn't get the downloads like you do. Like you're in a trance, or almost, or like maybe like a semi-meditative state, and maybe that's kind of what it is, because you relaxed enough. I feel, Jay, to get that information. When you relax is when I feel you get it the most. And that's the part of it. A lot of times is like myself. So I'm like that too. If I'm thinking too much, I don't get much.
See, I was calm there, and most of my stuff, as you know, comes in the morning. It's when I'm at peace. For instance, I was up at 2 a.m. this morning, outside in the darkness, just taking it all in, the crickets, the leaves, the critters running through the yard. It's so peaceful. And that's when I usually get all these information that it kind of comes to me. And then this was just kind of like, they wanted this to come. I mean, someone sent me stand. I have stand 3 times here. Did I say that? Okay, stand. Someone sent me sovereign. Stand in your sovereignty. And the secrets was 6 times. The stand was 3. It's time. It's time. Sovereignty is there. Okay, so that's stand in your sovereignty. The dollar signs, I don't know what that means. That'll probably take a little bit.
I feel it's Jubilee. Earlier I got Jubilee is what I got earlier in the show. And I feel it's something to do with, obviously it's something to do with financial, but I feel like when you see dollar signs, that could be the markets being changed, the revaluation. Right. So the money sign is going to be huge. I think that's going to be the next big thing. It's obviously the financial system has to come down, and it's well, that's amazing. So Harley Ray just said Queen's death announcement 911 days after the scandemic started. That's amazing. So that's true. And I feel like the Nisara, Jasara, whatever they want to call it, it's not, honestly. And there is a jubilee coming. I know that. And there's going to be revaluation of things. So it's going to be for the benefit of us. And I know that. And when I pulled cards, when you asked earlier, Jay, if the white hats are doing things for their own or for us, I get that there is. I feel like there was some conflict at first with that about maybe between the white hats of what the purpose of what they were doing was. But I feel like things have changed, and there is some agreements or some partnerships, and they're in agreement now, and it's going to bring us security and wealth. And they're defeating the devil, the dark cats, because I got the devil card, and after the defeat, the wheel of fortune comes. So right now we're in the process of defeating the devil, and it's going to bring us a gift. And it's going to help us financially and with our families. But it's judgment. The judgment is coming. It's the judgment card is the final one. So that means there's going to be some finality. It's going to be a win-win.
It's loving. It's loving. It's. There's the roses. There's the roses. It's the roses. I smell you. It's loving. It's the roses. There's the roses. It's going to be. There's going to be a calm. There'll be. It'll be like a wave. It'll be like a wave. It'll start small and it'll just expand. It'll take a little bit. All right. Okay.
No worries, Joe. I'll put you on mic, okay? I'm gonna put you on mute. So whatever, if you get something, try to make some sense of it for you. So I'll let you slip away. I know you're I can feel you again. So I don't know, Dennis, you want to chime in? You can unmute, and I want to kind of interested to see what you think about the money signs or some of the things that we've been kind of getting. Have you got any downloads as far as something along that line you feel?
No, not yet. The only thing I've been getting probably for the past few months is a can in the road. They keep trying to kick the can in the road, but I think we've come to a point now where the can has gone away and things are starting to develop. I don't get visions or anything. I used to, but I haven't had one in a long time. But no, that's about all I see right now. Let's see. He still needs.
I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask my cards real quick if it's about if 9/11 may be something to do with the previous 9/11 first, and then I'm going to ask maybe if it's something financially.
Yeah,
if that's the
2001.
answer, we'll go to question 2 is what I feel, because I feel something is coming down the horn. That is a major thing. I don't know what it is yet but I'm going to ask real quick, and I'm going to ask first if the 9/11 is going to be the original 9/11 is going to be revealed is what I'm going to go with first. So. I feel that's what it is. I feel like there's a couple of options that they could. I think they're planning. There's a couple of things that they could do is what I look like with the 2 of Pentacles. So they have a couple of options to use what they want to present. But I feel like they're going to present something they've been planning to present, obviously with the 2 of Wands. So something that's going to affect the world. And also I feel like it's going to be a benefit because I feel like it's something to do with community or partnerships because the 3 of Cups and the Strength card that I pulled last. So that means that I feel like, yeah, with all these cards, those are all yes cards. And I feel like that will be possibly one of the reveals. I feel like maybe it may be a couple of reveals. Let me pull some more on that because the 2 of Pentacles, there's 2 of those options. So let me see if this is what that'll be one of the options. Let's see, will they continue? I feel absolutely with the 7 of Cups. I feel like there's a lot of things that aren't as what they appear. Also, there's a lot of choices. I feel like there's multiple things that they could present to us at that point. And I asked financially with the Page of Pentacles. So yes, that means that's a soft yes. Something is coming to us. It's tangible. And the Justice card was the final, just in a 3 card, easy, quick pull. that tells me it's going to bring balance and justice to us, and it's karmic. These things that are happening. So between 9/11, yes, there's two different options. I feel like they could present that to kind of springboard things. If the EBS, when I pulled cards earlier, I got that the EBS could be Sunday. And when it comes down to it, it looks like another option is they could present some information regarding financial to us or something along that line there, or they have the option to, and when they do. So that's what I feel as far as the two questions go. So it looks like 9/11 this year, as I've been feeling for months as well, that it's going to be a turning point for the better for us. I don't know why, but I felt that before this even get to this point. And I feel like that's the 9/11 would be a perfect day to kick them right in their teeth. And I say that with love, not really, but honestly, I feel like to use what they have, like even the internet was created not to bring us information and be easy and all that. That was the furthest. That the internet was created nefariously to track us. And also what it does is by you staying home on your internet, you have everything in the touch of your fingers. You don't have to go anywhere. Or you stay, so you're not communicating with people out in the communities. You're staying home, you're isolating, easy to control, and they can manipulate you through the Bluetooth and all these other crazy things that they've been doing. So 9/11, because of what happened in 2001, would be, I've said that for a long time, for 2 years now. Plus, I'm like, 9/11 is the perfect day. And supposedly there's a lot of information no one really knows, but they're saying Jesus Christ was born on 9/11. That's his real birthday. And I feel like that's the reason. I don't know. I mean, I pulled some stuff on it and it says I get a yes, that's what it is. But without me being there, actually, I mean, I it's one scenario is what I feel. But with the 9/11 thing, that's the perfect day, I feel, to do that. And if it is Jesus's real birthday, that's even better. So go ahead, Jay.
Before we started the show here, I had mentioned to you in Spain, they are right now, today is their celebration of Mary, the mother of Jesus' birthday. This is a national thing. And I got the roses aroma, and that was actually for Dennis and for you. I mean, it came to me. I appreciate your energy, but those roses were also for you two. Jason told me that smell of roses is the sign of Mother Mary, or so I mean, when that comes through, I usually say I'm smelling the roses. I don't know if that came out, but they were also for you two, and everyone. I takes me a minute sometimes to process it all, but when stuff starts coming like that, normally I get this stuff and I will tell somebody, and then and then I go through the Tourette's body thing, and however it's trying to process and how they're trying to show it to me. But they wanted to make sure that you knew that those roses were for you. They were for your protection, your guidance, your the love for you guys. It's for us, and us can be the chat, but it is definitely directing those to you too. I just wanted to share that with you because I think that's pretty special. I mean, it should feel my heart. It really is just. It's so joyful, and there is no way I'm going to sleep tonight. I can feel that already. So we're just going to go down that road, and then Jason sends me energy, and I'm going to be up all night. So thank you, Jason.
I'll probably sleep for a couple of hours tonight, but I'll guarantee you I'll be wide awake from about midnight till 6 in the morning, because that's been like that for the last. No, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to call you at 3 o'clock in the morning there, Joe. No, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to call you at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's all right. That's all right. Text me. I'm up probably. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Yeah. But no, that's I didn't hear everything you said about pulling the cards, Jason. I apologize. When you were talking about the dollars, I was seeing thumb up, thumb down, thumb up, thumb down. I think the thumb up is for us, meaning people. But the down, whether it's the bad corporations or what, but even still, it just kind of shows that we're okay eventually. Is that what you pulled? Is that what your card showed?
Yeah, actually, what I pulled first was about the 9/11 thing. I asked if they were going to present the previous 9/11 or what really happened, and I got there's a couple of options with that, but I feel like that's one that is for sure a strong one that it leaves me with all the rest of the cards I got yes, and then I also asked if it be something financially possibly too because the Two of Pentacles came, so that means there's a couple of things they could present or a couple of options that they have. So I asked if they were going to present something with the finance or anything financial, and I also got yes with that. With those cards, so I feel like that's one of the choices. They have multiple choices, and I feel like they could add. I feel like this is something that they're going to just kind of add pieces, however they feel as this progresses from this point on, before they even send it out. I feel like there's a couple of options for that though. But for sure, I feel like maybe the 9/11 thing will be a big one. For either way, I got strong cards for either one of those options. The 9/11 may be something that will be presented to us.
Okay.
Like that. So. But and also, I just saw somebody in the chat asked, "Will they be saying anything at the football game about this?" And I got yes. I got the Queen of Swords, so the truth will be coming out. The Hermit. I got the King of Wands, so yes, and then the Justice card again. So that tells me I've had the Justice card in all my pulls tonight when I'm looking at it, and that tells me for sure that something is coming that's going to bring some justice to people, and it's going to be some validation, and that's something that we've been waiting for, this validation and these things. So I just kind of watched the chat, so that was actually good, and I feel like that's a perfect opportunity. And guess when? Even though today is the real start of the football season, ball, BAL. But Sunday, 9/11 is technically the real start of the season. So,
wow,
what better way in front of all the stadiums of all these thousands of people to put stuff out?
I love it. I love it.
I don't know why I got that. I got like multiple screens all over, and that's a perfect place to do it. And I honestly feel like that's going to be, it's amazing. I mean, I just feel like I'm so tingly right now from my top of my head through my body, and I feel the tingles, and it's amazing. I'm telling you, this is. I knew a couple of years ago that the darkness was being defeated. I felt it in my soul. And as of the last couple weeks ago, I was exhausted for days, and I'd wake up and just be exhausted. And I had dark circles, really dark. I always have little dark circles, but I had such dark circles under my eyes. I knew I was fighting something that, and Jason had some experiences. Jason B, Ryan, and also I know talking to you, Jay, you've had some experiences. Kristen was exhausted. There's a lot of us that have been exhausted because we're fighting this level. And I feel like a couple of weeks ago was almost like the final huge battle that we're pushing along. And I don't know why I feel that. I just know that. I feel like we've made that much progress because there's more of us fighting now. That's where the difference is. We've made that much progress.
I felt it was curious with Dennis mentioned about that energy. He felt the energy curious with that surge in the beginning when we first started, and coming into the room when Dennis came into the room, a lot of times I have mentioned, I'm sure you guys have too, it just seems like we get together and we kind of, it's like we're a bigger receiver or a bigger battery when our energies are together, and it just seems like we start feeding off each other. I mean, step into one another's energy, and it's pretty cool. I'm actually really glad I got to be with Dennis tonight too. I mean, Jason and I talk a lot. I think most you know, but I was really thankful that Dennis would come on, and I got a little taste of your energy, Dennis, and it is great. I mean, it is powerful. It's elegant. It's somewhat royalty is what I'm getting, like special,
Angelic.
standing, proud. It's a little bit of that Indian energy, but it's also that makes sense. I mean, like I am here, but really cool energy. Thank you for that. Jason, I sent you something about what Dennis had said to me about the chief. I don't know if Dennis can bring that up, but I had asked him about this standing bear and this stomping horse, and that was my question in Kristen's room. And I believe Dennis said you were also a chief. Would you mind sharing that with us? Is that all right?
Trying to think about
I don't mind that. Yeah, I mean, I know you sent something to me, and I've seen a couple of conversations, and I mentioned that there was a few of us, you, me, and I believe the first email was what Dennis sent was regarding that, and I'm a Native American. I have blood. I'm a Chippewa Indian, and I have my tribal card, so they can trace my lineage back as far as they can, and so I know I'm tied to Native American for sure.
It does have something to do with now. It really does. So, yeah.
I'm not sure what that is, but
I'd like to hear Dennis.
I know that the standing bear that I found was Lakota chief, and around the same time, I have been told that I was chief spotted elk, also known as Bigfoot. And was it Sitting Bull that I was talking about, or was it a different chief? They were all Lakota, and they were all cousins at the same time. You're mute, Joe. You're mute. I can't hear you.
Dennis, it was Crazy Horse. It was Crazy Horse. It was Spotted Elk.
And Standing Bear. Yeah, all three were cousins.
Right.
All three were a part of the Custer's Last Stand. They all worked together. They all fought together. And I was just curious. I think that the three of us may have been them in a past life. The three of us may have been them.
Yeah,
I know. Jason, I was told that I was spotted elk, but
yeah, Jason is the fighter. Even in my own tuition,
I was told that I was spotted elk.
Yeah. Jason is the.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I know I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter, and even since I was a little kid, I mentioned this before in previous. Can you hear, Joe?
Yeah, it's a protecting energy.
Spotted elk was the peacemaker.
Yeah,
he was the one that would always be there to negotiate. And I've always been a peacemaker. My foster mother even called me a peacemaker. So
that's awesome. And I'm a peacemaker too, but when it might have to be to the point where my peacemaking that I make is something I have to take some people out or bad guys out. I've always been that way. I've always been a soldier or a warrior. I know that. Some of my guides, I even have a huge Viking as one of my guides, and he's a huge Viking warrior. And so that tells me, and I know I've been a Viking in my previous life. I know that, and I know I've been Native American in my previous life. And there's so many lifetimes we've lived that it's been pretty amazing to learn some of these things. And now that these collective pieces or these little pieces we've been getting have been slowly coming together, and it's starting to put some things together that makes sense, that resonate with me. And that, like I said, when you present or somebody presents something to me, I go with how I feel. If I feel that, I'm like, that makes some sense. It resonates. It's like, I don't know about all that.
It's definitely odd though that Yeah. It's definitely odd. It's odd that with what happened today, and with this kind of American Indian information coming forward, it's kind of dripping in. Like I said, I relied a little bit on Dennis with that. I mean, I went to him. It was instinctively, I knew to go to him. And it's just, I try to put these things together as far as how the flow's going. The negotiator, the chief, the fighter, the protector, how does that mesh with today? Reptilian, I mean, how does it all work in together? It really isn't just, oh, this is this, oh, this is that. They're connected. It's always connected. It just takes time to put it together, but it's always connected. And that's what I have trying to add that into this, because it is somehow connected to what happened today, or supposedly what happened today. I don't know.
So I just got to download myself right now. My head started tingling. I don't know why I feel this. I feel like we're going to be switching timelines on September 11th. I almost feel like it's going to be a redo.
I thought we already switched
I
timelines.
just seen that. The twirl? A twirl?
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, man. I got that. I feel like we're going to be going back or turning or twirl, whatever it is, and it's like almost like we're going to turn back the clock. Is what I'm kind of feeling, like a knob, and we're turning back. And it's what I feel like maybe we're going to be in the timeline that was how it was meant to be in the first place. And I feel like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know, but I feel like this is what it is. I get it. And it's just I keep seeing turning back.
Wasn't it the Q team that was discussing how things are going to go back to the 50s?
Yeah,
that was a while ago. Yeah. I wonder if that's what this is.
Well, that's what I mean. What I've been reading is 1955 is what we're supposed to be go back to, and you know what's resonated with me is that was my mom's birthday, or that was the year my mom was born, 1955, and she just passed in 2020. So that was another universe sign for me that says, I connected with that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I feel like the revaluation. Things are going to be cheaper like it used to be in the 50s with no inflation, with gold back standard. That's the purpose of that. And they didn't want that. I mean, literally, we've been using monopoly money. That's what it is. It's like toilet paper. And I used to say this before I even really got into the truther and stuff. I'm like, this is worth nothing. I would just always hold the bill. This is worth nothing. This is only worth what somebody says this is worth. This is worth nothing. There's no tangible thing to it except a piece of paper. You can light it on fire. You can wipe your butt with it. You can blow your nose with it. That's what it's worth. And it's just that. Just like no difference in the colorful monopoly money that they play in the games with. And that's even to be competitive and to tell you to be greedy and you need more and you need more and you need more. And those are, I mean, telling you things are so nefarious. And when we come down to this gold back standard, there's not going to be inflation. They don't want that because they can't embezzle money without the inflation. This is all purpose to take all the money from us and put it in their huge pot of gold that they've had, like dragons and reptiles do. They like to sleep on their gold. They like to hoard it. That's what they are. I mean, they're scum. And I want to say this to the cabal, if you're watching, because I know you are and you mess with this. I've thoroughly enjoyed defeating you. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I cannot.
I love it.
Wait till this is done. So, Soldier of Light, come get some. So,
I love it.
I'm tingly right now. I feel that. I mean, I'm pumped right now, man. Like I feel my head blowing. Like my face is red because everything is just flowing through me right now. And I can connect with your energy, and I connect with your energy, Dennis. And the more I get to know you, the more I'll be able to connect with you. And that you've been having the interactions with Jay, and I have too. And he bounces things off of me, and I bounce things off of him. And this is a crazy roller coaster. We talked about at the beginning of the show. This is a roller coaster, man. And I used to love roller coasters, but on this roller coaster, I'm ready to tell the person controlling this ride, I'm done. I don't want to ride this ride anymore. Let me go to the slower, the slower portion of this. So, and that's what I know, but things are going to pick up. And I just want people to know this, keep the faith. It's hard, and you're going to see some things that are going to come out, and that even us as prepared people, there's going to be some stuff that's going to surprise us and shock us all, guaranteed. But I feel like we're hardened, the battle hardened. We talked about that earlier, and we have the calluses for a reason. So when those scabs get ripped off, it's not as bad as somebody who just gets a fresh wound and doesn't move. So that's what we're at. I feel like, and I was a medic in the military, so I'm used to, I can do both. I can take you out and I can heal you. So that was something I've always done. And I feel that same way. I feel like we've been getting just battle wounded our whole lives. And I feel like we have such a hardened callus of the things that we've learned, that we're mentally preparing ourselves for what we know is coming, that is going to be hard. We know it's coming, it's going to be hard. And it's not going to be a quick fix. I mean, we're unraveling thousands and thousands of millions of years of garbage. Since the beginning of time, we've been at the downward slide because the darkness has pulled us down. And that's the reason why we have off-world technology over 100 plus years in advance that the military, and also when they've connected with ETs have not given us technology for a reason. They said man is not mature enough to handle some of these technologies because we're greedy, and we know that it'll be used for the dark. And those are things that it's hopefully as we evolve and we get to a certain consciousness level, I feel like that's when those beautiful technologies will start to flow to us. Once we're not trying to step over everybody to get ahead. And that's what I keep seeing is people getting stomped and trampled on. And that's what we've been doing our whole lives, is just trampling on people, trampling on others. It's dog eat dog world. We've been taught that. And we need to undo that. We need to think differently. We need to help. We need to come back to communities. Community grows, like for food and things like that. That's where I feel the new world is going, where we connect and we're not separated. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference for people. We're not going to have to worry about, I got to make X amount of dollars to pay my bills. We're not going to have to worry. We're going to actually be able to use our hearts instead of the fears in our mind to get ahead. That's going to be the biggest difference.
That energy that Dennis described about that energy, that negotiating energy, that calmness, that vibration, it's the battle's already over. That what I got from when Dennis described that about the American Indian, that's where we're going to be. Like, we're going to be rational and we're going to start pulling people through this. But that sane energy, if you will, I hate to use that word, but it's not this. It's not this. It's not jumping up and down. It's
fluid.
It's straight across. Yes. Thank you. Perfect word. Perfect word.
I am water.
Yes. Thank you. Perfect word.
Go ahead, Dennis, if you want to chime in. I'll mute myself so it doesn't echo.
Are you gonna mute yourself, huh? No, I think this is great. I think we ought to do more roundtables together, because we kind of move things fluidly. You know, where some people, when they do interviews, it's kind of choppy, but I think we're pretty much fluid.
No, that's amazing. And I feel like that too. I mean, when I interview people, I don't come in with a plan. I like to try to keep at least some type of structure and not get too far off left or right. I know we've kind of done a little bit, but with the news that we sprung on today, it's just to prepare people. That's why we've kind of moved into this. And I feel like that's how we're being led. It's spiritually is how I go, is how I flow. And I stopped using this as much. And I tell all my people that I read for the same thing, because that's what Spirit tells me. A lot of times I see these people are self-defeating. They're self-defeating with their thoughts, and our thoughts lead to our words, and our words lead to our intention and our actions, and they're all connected. And when we have these defeating thoughts or these what ifs thoughts and things aren't happening and we wish and I wish and this, Those are things that are consistently bringing your vibration down every little tick and tick and tick. And pretty soon you're at the bottom, or you're very low and you're having to climb yourself back up. And that's what I feel like. And I tell people all the time, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. The fact that we had this event happen today, preparing us, and besides what Janine has pulled, Kristen has pulled throughout the shows, what I've pulled, this is something that's coming. This is it. When they say, nothing can stop what is coming, that's a true statement as ever. That's not just, blowing smoke up people, or just a saying or statement to sell things. That's the truth. Nothing can stop what is coming. The darkness was defeated the moment it started. When God said enough is enough, this is it. I'm going to step in. And I actually had a prophetic dream that I had and about the nice fancy building that's in Washington, D.C. that all these people like to go in and they hang the flag above it. And I'm not going to say what it is, but you know what it is. It's the color white, and it's very large of a property. And there's a lot of truthers that go around and film what's going on there. So I had that prophetic dream when I asked God about, besides the military, I said, is the evil being defeated? I just wanted to know. And that night, literally, I was in the sky, in the clouds. I think it was God next to me. I don't know who it was, but I knew somebody was next to me. And the clouds were open. There was a bunch of clouds around us, and it was pitch black, and the clouds opened up. And I was looking down, and it was that building, and everything was pitch black around it, and it was spotlighted. Like the whole thing was just lit up, spotlighted. And it was almost like God told me, watch this. You want to see something impressive? I'm going to show you something impressive. And at that point, when I felt that, all of a sudden I just saw maybe 50 to 100, I don't know how many it was, lightning strikes and bolts at the same time, just kept, and not just like in spurts, it was like constantly, like, and just destroying this structure to little dust. And it was an amazing, and I woke up right after that. God basically told me, watch this. So I know with the dreams that I've asked and the signs that I've received from my guides, they're strong. My guides are super strong, super strong. And I know for a fact that when they give me information, pay attention. And that's what I've been doing more. And I've been writing these things down. And the more I'm putting these pieces together, like you said, bringing us together, Soul Tribe, people in this chat, the moderators. I mean, this is not coincidence that we've all been brought together. I mean, think about, that's incalculable, the odds of all of us from different walks of life, different countries, different time zones, different belief systems, different upbringings. There's so many things that should have separated us, but we all had a common thing, that we knew something was wrong. Things weren't as they appeared. And you're right, Chrissy, that there's no coincidences. And I've gotten over that now. I don't feel that there's no coincidences anymore. I've had too many aha moments that says coincidences are just something we've made up. That's a term we've made up because we've put this into act too much, and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And that's what our problem is. We have to all get out of our way. And I feel like once people are just open to this, and obviously these people and the beautiful people in the chat and you guys together, like you said, you can't recreate this. You can try. Same thing with our roundtable when we did with Jason and yourself and me, Jay. You can't. People have tried to recreate these things. You can't. It's either you have that magic and you're divinely touched as a group, or you're not. And I know it's not. I know we're all divinely touched, but I mean, when we come together, what I mean by divinely touched is our energies combined become a superconductor. And we can bounce. So I feel like because we're connected, I feel like we share a lot of the same guides. I don't know why I feel that. I feel like we share a lot of the same guides. And I also feel like we maybe have some type of connection soul wise as well. Maybe a little piece, or I don't know how it is, but I feel like we are connected. Exactly. And it could be the fractal thing. And I don't know, we're all fractal, I feel, as part of the whole, because God is the divine light.
Yes.
God is the whole. And we're all of us, no matter what, we're all fractals of that. And I believe that part for sure. So that makes me feel like we are connected soul wise, because we're all from the same whole. So even when you come together in your vibration, we may have come together, but our vibrational levels may not have been at the same level. and they're not. Everyone's levels are going to be different, but I feel like when we do come together, I feel like we kind of equalize. When we're down here, up here, I feel like we kind of balance each other out, and that's what helps us raise our vibrational level together. And that's been an amazing journey for me, and getting to know all of you guys and all the Soul Tribe members and the people that I've read for and done energy healings for. It's an amazing, so it's amazing. And I just want to say it's been a real pleasure, kind of getting to know you guys. And this is just the beginning. This is the beginning. And what I tell the Soul Tribe or anyone I work with, work on yourself, as we've talked about before. I know that's a simple thing, or it seems, oh, it's okay, everyone says that, but that's the truth. Only you can work on you. I can help and others can help, but only you can work with you. Exactly. So, and when it comes down to it, when we work on ourselves, we're able to help others by doing that, because we are secure, we're strong, we're in a loving place in our heart, and we're projecting that, and our vibrational level is higher. Even if people around you aren't loving or aren't as at your level, or don't believe in some of the things you believe, that's okay. But by you being around and your vibrational level being high, you bring theirs up as well. And that also brings the little lower frequency vibrational beings that like to hang out like leeches. It removes them because your vibrational level is high. And that's what we're all here for. I think a lot of us are star seeds. A lot of us are star seeds. A lot of us are connected soul wise, and we're here for divine purpose. And I want people to know that you are a divine being of God, the creator of all. And you have magical powers. All of us do. And I mean, not magical like what you see in the movies and bad things. Magic of creating, magic of loving, and you can create. We create human beings. We create other people because we have that gift of creation. But we also can destroy these creations because we have that free will. And so I want to make sure that people know that you have all the power you need, and stand strong in your beliefs, no matter what. Believe in what you believe, because obviously something is connecting you to believe that, and to feel it. And once you start to feel instead of think more, things are just going to open up. And I'm at a place in my heart, and I got to that point where I just didn't care anymore. And that was my turning point for me. That's a true story. I was so I was into like truth and stuff and learning. And I'm like, wow. And I got burnt out learning all these things. And I feel like that's another reason why that they're trickling this stuff out, so we don't get so burnt out and we all end up in the mental institution, because the things we speak may sound psycho or crazy, what people say, but it's the truth, because everything else is being hidden purposely to make us seem like we're off our rockers. And it makes me think, as an ex-psych nurse that I used to do, like how many of these people that were in these psych wards, maybe they were enlightened, and the things they were speaking made no sense to anybody. Like, that person is way off their rocker. And that's why I feel like, and then they're put away in those facilities, and they dope them up and they keep them there because they don't want this information. Like, well, maybe something catches on. And I don't know why I just got that download right now with psych wards. And I feel like that's a big thing.
You've been picking on my brain, haven't you? I've been thinking that for years.
So that's what I feel.
Me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
What?
Oh, hi.
So yeah, sorry, I didn't know. I was thinking. I honestly, that's what I was kind of doing. Is honestly, we have the power, guys, and stand in your truth for sure. And I know this is. I wasn't planning on going an hour and 30 minutes, but it's been amazing, kind of catching up with you guys, and we're making it. That whole saying, "Fake it till you make it." No, if you believe you're faking it till you make it, are you really making it? You may feel that, and if things don't work out when you're faking it till you make it, or you don't make it, then you're disappointed. So when I got to the point where, like I said, I didn't care anymore. I was like, I don't care what people are saying online. I don't care what I understand at this point that I know that things are bad. Things are not at all what they've appeared from the beginning of time, and things we've been taught. I finally just said, I don't care anymore what people say. I don't care what people think. I know whatever I feel resonates with me in my heart is what I'm going with. And at that point, I just siphon out all the garbage because there's a lot of it. There's a lot of false information purposely put out. There's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, whatever term you want to call it. It's purposely done either by the evil or by the people who are good, who don't want this information being put out. But there is little trickles in there. So it's up to us, like we've been doing. The Anons been finding these things out and pushing this information out. We've used their invention, the internet, against them. Little did they know that they took us away from all these, places. Like you can't go to the local pub or the local restaurants or whatever to talk to people. You can, but it's less likely. And because we've been taught to isolate ourselves. But the fact that we use the internet now and we can talk to people around the world, that's amazing. So I feel like that's the amazing part of this. So I quit too. I mean, honestly, I see somebody say I quit following so many. I did too. I used to listen to Charlie Ward. I'm not saying he's bad or good. I used to listen to, Simon Parks. That was kind of the first people I started to listen to a little bit. Janine. And honestly, when it came down to it, there's some other people that I've kind of mentioned that come on the scene. I don't even listen to any of these truthers anymore. Only channel I listen to at this point now is Kristen's when I moderate, and I don't even hear half of that because I'm so focused on crushing this darkness and these trolls that like to come out and start garbage. So I don't really listen much, and I don't go back and listen. I know whatever I need to hear, I'll hear. That's what my guides tell me, and I do that. And honestly, because as Jay has mentioned, this is static. It's all static. And like even the chat the other day, what do you think about this truther? Let's pull cards on that. What do you think about that's why? You're bringing that darkness and that lower frequency into this chat and into this community. Don't. It's just people just saying there's no difference. It's just somebody mumbling. It's all it is. It's mumble. It's static. It's whatever you want to call it. And when I stopped listening to that, dude, so much better. I focus then. I know what I get when I feel, and I go with that. And that's how I've been doing. And sometimes we get information overload. And I feel like that's happened a lot too. And I feel like we're going to start to get some more of that as we move forward. So I want people to kind of just be ready for that, and some person may say one thing, one person may say another. Okay, take bits and pieces that resonate with you. Awesome. Some of it you may none of it, you may not agree with any of it. That's fine. But whatever resonates with you is what I feel is you need to stay in your heart center and move forward that way. And I feel like that will be the best thing you can do, at least from my perspective. And I'll let you mention or say that, we're just kind of closing up real quick so we can kind of call it a night. And I just want to kind of see what you think, Jay, and then I'll go to you, Dennis, as well. Okay. And I just want to kind of see what you think, Jay, and then I'll go to you, Dennis.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to mention was, most of the people in the chat kind of know our connection with Kristen, Jason, this reincarnated family. What most people don't know is Dennis was here. Dennis had his awakening roughly in the 90s. He was what I call one of those, the first class. And I honestly feel that we could have actually all followed these vibrations together. His is an old energy. It's been here. Another coincidence, another how we communicate this vibration. He came to us, he came to the channel, we came to each other. Again, just so people know that connection that we all have. It's phenomenal. And the only other thing I wanted to do is let's do this together. I knew this wasn't going to be an hour. We start getting together talking, it's going to go. But Dennis, I want to thank you for everything you've done. Jason also. And there's a number of you in the chat that I'm so thankful for. I probably could name at least more than half of everyone in the chat right now and thanking them for helping me with just something. And I always put my email in the channels. I mean, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people. Some people I reach out to, kind of shown, hey, we need to get together. Here's my email. I'm drawn to it. I'm not trying to be a creepy guy going, oh, hey, email me. When I do that, it's something I'm being shown to do, and there's a reason. And most of the people that I've come in contact with by doing this, I mean, we're still friends. I mean, they help me, I help them. that's just it. They're kind of coming to me, but at the same time, they're helping me at the same time. I just wanted to mention that. And I think we need to do this again. This would be awesome. That elder energy of Dennis is chief. I mean, there is this angel. Honestly, Dennis, I love it. It is an amazing energy. I can't speak highly enough of it. Look, do you see it flick? Do you see his lights flicker? They just did in his room there. They were like, do you see it flick? Do you see his lights flicker? Okay, maybe it's me. But all right.
No, I saw it too.
It's him. Yeah. It was flickering earlier.
Thank you, everyone. Dennis, go ahead.
I just want to say that throughout our entire lifetimes, we were set inside of a box and we were programmed to stay in there. It's now time to get out of the box and just let things flow. I mean, it's time to be fluid, not just between the three of us, but everybody needs to be fluid now and start looking for truth out there for yourselves and stop listening to everybody else. But yeah, we need to do this more often.
We can definitely do that. I mean, I have no problem with that. Maybe we can try to do maybe a weekly one, maybe if it's like an hour, maybe. And I feel like because as this is a turning point, I feel like this is going to be something that. What was that, Jay? I feel like this is going to be something that.
His lights were just going nuts again in Dennis's room.
I think it's just me. I'm just going nuts. That's all.
Nuts again in Dennis's room.
Well, the funny thing is.
Drawing it. I don't take these little hints. You can tell me you have electrical problems. I'm going to say bullshit that you're drawing energy.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's like in my readings when I do my daily videos, the lights brighten for me as soon as I touch my cards and after I've asked my guides to come in, the moment I go to touch them to start to present, the lights brighten in every one of my videos. It's not a lighting trick, anything like that. I'm pretty sure Dennis is not the same. We're not sitting there with a little switch flicking it like, haha, what do you think? Because my wife even said
my secret is out.
Right? Exactly. But my wife said the same thing. She goes, if people aren't believers in this stuff, the lights going on, just changing and brightening up or whatever, that should be a sign for people in itself that usually with spirits, darker spirits, or even spirits who aren't in a high frequency, they drain energy. They pull the energy they have to pull it from somewhere. So they pull it and you'll have dimming and things like that. But when you have flickers and it brightens up, you're emoting the light.
Exactly. It's illuminating.
That's what it is. It's the energy. We're all tied to energy and frequency. And that's a true story. So this is something that was an aha moment for me. Not really an aha, but just it really opened my eyes. I've been working out lately again. And I was doing some push-ups on my yoga mat. And I looked down at my yoga mat when I was done, and I saw the yoga mat vibrating. And I know, like, it might have been my eyes, but I looked down at the gray. There was a gray one and there was a red one, and my red one, I could really see the vibrational level look different than the gray. And I only saw that when I was working out because I wasn't thinking. I was just doing it, and I got done, and I was relaxed, and I was just like, okay. And I looked down, and the mat was literally vibrating. I'm like, I've never seen that before in my entire life. And I was like, wow, the frequency, energy, and vibration. That was the aha moment for me. That's everything vibrates at a different frequency. That's and rate, because that's why it's solid, or it's more solid, or it's liquid compared to solids and gas. It all vibrates at its own level, and I could see that visually, and that was amazing for me. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen anything like that either, with actually seeing things vibrate. It's been pretty eye-opening for me. If any of you guys have seen anything like that either, with actually seeing things vibrate, it's been pretty eye-opening for me.
Just muscle spasms for me.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna mute you real quick, you both. But there's some. It's the echo, and I don't know what it is. It's echo. I know. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So we've had echo, and it sometimes is only with Jay's mic. And I don't know what it sounds. I know when I hear it, I can hear the echo as well. So everyone's been muted. So everyone's muted. So honestly, I just want to say, amazing. We can try to do this once a week. And I feel like as things get kicked off and the more stuff that comes down the horn, these types of roundtables for information so people can vent, or not vent, but communicate to people who are like-minded. And I feel like that's something that needs to happen as well. I believe that. And I feel like even more of us getting together on these roundtables. With the StreamYard, I can have a bunch of people. And I feel like something, if you guys are interested, we'll definitely do once a week. We can bring others in, maybe some of these people on in the chat, maybe, because it's always the mods or whoever. Just see if there's people maybe want to chime in, just to kind of get to know some of these faces with some of these names. But that's just something that we can definitely do. And I know that there'll be others who want to jump on. Possibly as well, and the Wonder Twins I know would be able to if the day changed in between their stuff. But definitely, I think the more we get together, the more when these people when our soul tribe leaves, I feel like they're going to feel energized, and I feel like that's what we do. I feel like when we come together, we energize people, and we kind of push that out. And I keep seeing a Care Bear, and that's what's the truth. And it comes from us, and we send this light out, and we freely give away our energy. And that's what people don't realize. When I do my energy healing, same thing. We put energy out everywhere. All our light is around us, and we have to start collecting this energy back that we've given away so freely, because there's a lot of things that are pulling your energies, and you have others' energies, and they have yours. Sever those ties and start to collect that energy back, so you can heal yourself. You can energize yourself. You can be ready for this next part of the mission. And it will be. Honestly, before things really kick off, things are gonna get messier. So be prepared for that, and don't be afraid of the military if they're coming out. I know in my heart, the people I served with, there's no way that the guys that I know I served with would ever go about hunting their own people, going after families and things like that, because that's what the evil wants. There's no way. I guarantee it. I know that. And I can speak as a soldier of that. And I've never had that thought that there might be some people in there that are dark, just like everywhere in the world. But I feel like the military in itself, they know their job, and they're going to do it as effective. The fact that they've been doing these missions underneath people's noses for so long. I've been hearing explosions here in Illinois, and I live out in the country south of Chicago, and I was here. I'm like, that's an explosive. I know it. I've been around explosives, in the military. I know the difference between hearing a boom and feeling it, or some thunder. I know these things that have been going on. They've been destroying these things, and that's amazing. So the fact that they're able to do that, that should tell you how skilled the military has been. I mean, and this is a worldwide operation. This isn't something that just local, our few soldiers that we have are, this is the world, and these guys that they put out, and that's another thing, these guys that they put out in the media as being the dark, and they're so evil and we should get rid of them. Those are the ones that were probably beneficial for the people, or turned on them possibly, because they're all elected. But I feel like they wanted to push that, or they didn't go with the agenda, and they wanted to push them out. And they were constantly just pushing this agenda on people, and that's what I feel like. That's what it is. We're having a change, and I hate to say this, even for some of people's favorites, when the military steps in and martial law is called, guess what? Every one of these elected people have been illegally elected, all of them. Even if you have a familiar person that you think is cool, these people have all been illegally elected, because our Constitution has been rewritten. All these things have been going on for a long time. These people are not fit or legally, if you go by the Constitution, to even hold office, because they weren't legally elected as a sovereign nation like we're supposed to be. We were elected under this corporation, so that they just were putting people in their corporation, like hiring. They were hiring people, come in, just like a CEO does. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you in, I'm gonna hire you. And all of our thoughts and prayers and worries and all these things were for nothing, because not for nothing, but us worrying didn't help the situation, because no matter what we were doing, the agenda was already playing out, no matter what. And at this point, it got to the point where it needed to change. And there's no way, with all of us knowing that the plan now, that there's no way that could ever go back to the way it was. I know personally for me, there's no way. Like, if it gets to that point, I'll go hunting. No problem. I have no problem with that. And I feel like that's where it's going. If that's why the military has to step in, because I know when this stuff does come out, people are going to be pissed. And there's people, even people who are asleep, are going to be so irate that they're going to just flip the F out, and they're going to go trying to hunt people and hurt people. And it's a reaction that we're used to. And when it's anger involved, and when they find out things have been going on with the little ones, and it's going to be heartbreaking and angering. So what I suggest before we get off is, honestly, stay in the light. No matter what you see come down the horn, you're battle hardened, you understand, but accept it and forgive it, release it. As soon as you learn of it, forgive it and release it. That's what Spirit is telling me. Forgive it and release it. Don't hold on to the burden. Don't be pissed any longer than your first initial reaction, because that's exactly what brings your vibrational level down. Because there's going to be some hard stuff that we're going to find out that's going to bring us. It's a smack in the face, and I'm seeing a smack with a closed, almost like a left hook, because I'm left-handed. So I'm seeing that same maneuver. It's going to be that type of blow for us. The gut punch is what they call it. Major. It's going to be some major stuff, and we're ready for that. So just stay in your vibration, stay high. As a soldier of light that you all are, a soldier. That's why I changed the name instead of how it's spelled, like soldier, because we're all soldiers of the light, and we're here for a purpose. And I want people to be that way. And no matter, the Blue Beam event, that was an option I think that Kristen has pulled as well. And it's something that and Janine, and I don't want to pull cards on that because I already know that it's probably going to be stepped away. And I feel like enough with the 9/11 and all that. If we get to this point where the Queen dies, is dead, that's a huge marker for us. And at this point, it tells me that the fact that it was announced like that on mainstream and she's been gone for a while, even my cards today in my reading that I put out on my YouTube channel, same thing. Before that news even came out, I said, she's already been gone in the past, but the news is going to come within the next 2 days. And it came today. So right after, literally, I posted that video. So it's amazing. I mean, like I said, it's things that we've seen that somebody mentioned exactly. That once we've seen these things, you can't unsee them. But all you can do is move on and forgive, because we've all been manipulated. Our parents have been manipulated. Our grandparents have been. Everybody in our generational, if you track it, has all been manipulated for the reason of dividing, and for the people who are in power to gain more power. And that is something that we'll get away from this timeline. I feel like we're going to have that switch. I keep seeing that turn back, and I feel like that's where we're going. We're turning back so we can move forward on the timeline it was meant to be in the first place, for the benefit of us. So, but that's all I wanted to say, and I appreciate it. We'll plan it again for another night. So I know that it's been some echo tonight. I apologize, guys. My computer for some reason was acting up, so that means we were over target with the things we were saying. So I'm anxious to see if this gets pulled down tonight on YouTube. And I actually said that with my YouTube video this morning about my reading. I said Lizard Queen and all these other things. I said in my video, I don't care if they pull it down. That means I'm over target. So that's all that means. And they can't hide anymore. I'm telling you, the light is too shining. We cornered them. They're in a little baby corner now. They're not all over. They're in a baby corner, and we're going to stomp them out for good. And then our job is to progress our world into the light. And it's going to be, I get rainbow a couple of times, but that just means our chakras are going to align. We're going to be in a loving place. That's all the rainbow is, because the rainbow is the same colors as our chakras. And there's a reason. So we're going to that. I just had a dream the other day about a kaleidoscope of rainbows and changing things, but it's a couple of rainbow dreams. So it tells me that that's where we're going. The rainbow world I went to re-energized me in my dream. No one else around, but everything was rainbow. And it was amazing. So I felt re-energized the next day. And I feel like that's a sign for me again that this is coming. The renewal's coming. You're going to all feel renewed and whole. The things that have been taken from us is going to be given to us as a gift. With that Page of Pentacles, something is coming back to us that's going to be tangible, something we can put our fingers and our hands on. It's amazing. So, but I just want to say thank you, guys. Is there anything else, Jay or Dennis, you wanted to say before we go?
I just wanted to say that I'll have my email address on my channel as well. for anybody that needs help.
Oh, like I said, thank you guys all for tuning in. If you guys ever need any energy healings or anything along that line, always look me up on my website. It's to be posted on my links, and hopefully I can help some of you guys kind of kickstart your progression and your healing. And I know a lot of you are on this journey, and it's been a difficult one. So whatever I can do to help, let me know. If there's some questions I can answer for you, let me know. And I'm always here to help you guys. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. Love you all. And Soldier of Light out. Thanks, moderators. Before I go, sorry. Thank you guys for your help. Thank you for Soul Tribe for tuning in. See you guys.